Henry Kissinger, World Order, Reflections on the Character of Nations and the Course of History. In a world where conflicts often emerge due to differences in beliefs and power struggles, Henry Kissinger's World Order, Reflections on the Character of Nations and the Course of History, provides a comprehensive understanding of how world orders shape nations and their interactions. This book summary delves into the history of world orders, the factors that contribute to their formation, and the powerful influence they have on political decisions and strategies. Readers can anticipate gaining valuable insights on the significance of world orders, the role of balancing powers, and how the experiences of past leaders and nations continue to shape the decisions made today.
Understanding world order. World order encompasses the ideas and beliefs of a community about how the world should work. These beliefs have a significant impact on a nation's actions towards other nations and can lead to conflicts. For instance, the disputes in the Middle East or the Cold War. A country's foreign policy platform and long-term strategies are determined by its world order ideas. It is crucial to understand the world order to know the position of a country in any situation. For example, European countries believe that every government should be selected through democratic elections. This thought has affected their foreign policy decisions and strategies. Hence, learning about world order can help us understand why a country acts the way it does, and it can provide a foundation for peaceful international relations. Balancing acts. The Cold War was a long ideological battle between the United States and the Soviet Union. Despite the tensions, no actual war broke out between the two nations. The reason for this was likely the balance of power. This balance prevented either nation from gaining a definitive advantage and allowed the actors time to plan and attend to important issues. Many politicians actually welcome a balance of power if clear supremacy is not possible. In the case of the Cold War, the stalemate didn't cease until the Soviet Union collapsed from the inside out, disrupting the balance of power. The huge nuclear stockpiles made the situation extremely delicate, and humanity dodged a bullet. Despite being a terrible period in history for many reasons, the balance of power thankfully deterred either side from using nuclear weapons. The Peace of Westphalia. The Peace of Westphalia was a treaty that laid the foundation for a new way of conducting politics in Europe. It ended the 30 Years' War and stabilized the continent by acknowledging every nation's sovereignty and decision-making. The treaty recognized that no single truth prevailed amongst all nations and that many different beliefs existed in Europe, all of which were equal. The principles outlined in the Peace of Westphalia formed a new world order that provided for a relatively stable system for European nations until the 20th century. The central principles of the treaty were often replicated and have remained part of the European world order to this day. Flexibility, Europe's key to stability. Europe's system of alliances has historically been very flexible, allowing coalitions to form easily for strategic benefit, which prevents any single nation from dominating others. This system proved effective in defeating Napoleon during the early 19th century. The 30 Years' War and changing allegiances further promoted flexibility, which was crucial for maintaining peace. However, the downfall of this system occurred when alliances became rigid, resulting in the rigidity of fronts. With the outbreak of World War I, stiff alliances activated, leading to catastrophe. Therefore, Europe's key to stability is flexibility in forming alliances. Germany's essential role in Europe's world order. Germany's political structure of small states played a critical role in preserving Europe's balance of power until 1871 when the country unified under Chancellor Otto von Bismarck. The previous system was less intimidating to its neighbors, and the Allied German-speaking states could readily mobilize a formidable army in the event of an external threat. The country's central location also helped maintain the stability of Europe. Germany's unification led to questing for power, which sparked World War I, and shook the balance of power in Europe. Roots of leaders. People and nations are heavily influenced by their past experiences, including their upbringing and history. The biography of leaders Clemens von Metternich and Otto von Bismarck highlights the influence of one's background on their political actions. Likewise, the history of Russia and Europe reveals that nations are shaped by their experiences, which affects their values and beliefs. Understanding the past experiences of leaders and nations can provide insight into their behavior and decision-making. The clash of world orders. The clash of different world orders often leads to conflicts, as each order is incompatible with the others. Every world order claims to have universal applicability without acknowledging other divergent systems. This clash of world orders was evident during the Cold War, where the conflicting world orders of the US and USSR resulted in armed conflicts fought as proxies. Similarly, many of the conflicts in the Middle East are triggered by the contradiction of diverse world orders. For instance, the Arab states are full of people with different world orders, which explains the numerous wars fought over divergent interpretations of Islam. In summary, when various nations meet, the chances of conflict increase, primarily due to their different world orders. Clash of world orders. The clash of world orders rooted in the Westphalian concept and a strict interpretation of the Quran leads to severe disparities and incompatibilities between states. The Quranic worldview is based on the notion that Muslim nations must exist as one large unit under Islamic law, while it is a holy obligation for all Muslims to ensure all states will also be under Islamic rule. In contrast, the Westphalian concept prioritizes state sovereignty and the rights of nations to make independent decisions in line with a basic set of rules. Therefore, in a global Islamic state, different religions cannot coexist peacefully under their terms. American implementation of world order. Discover how the United States utilized the concepts of the European world order to their advantage, pitting rivals against each other and becoming defenders of the global balance of power. Through a commitment to the Westphalian world order, American leaders justified wars and conflicts, such as their involvement in World War II. Examining President Theodore Roosevelt's White Fleet tour of Japan showcases the United States' demonstration of strength without explicit aggression, following the European world order's paradigm. In the book, the author explores how the United States implemented a world order that mirrored that of Europe's. The Westphalian world order was crucial to the strategy the US used in balancing the power between themselves and their rivals, including Russia, China, and Japan. Leaders in the US pitted these powerful nations against each other to ensure none of them would have the ability to launch direct attacks. The American commitment to the European world order was evident in their continuous justification of wars, most notably in their involvement during World War II. By examining the White Fleet tour of Japan, readers can observe how the US demonstrated their strengths without explicit aggression, further proof of their loyalty to European world order ideals.
In summary, Kissinger's A World Order offers a unique perspective into the complex fabric of world politics shaped by the beliefs and values that are embedded within various world orders. As we have explored the European world order, the influence of Germany, the legacies of key political leaders, and the ongoing conflicts in the Middle East, it becomes evident that world orders greatly dictate the course of history and the path to peace or conflict. Understanding the dynamics of world orders enables us to better comprehend the delicate balance of power that must be maintained for a stable political climate and to appreciate the relevance of past experiences in shaping the decisions made by nations throughout history.